And if you don't learn how to shake that, if you don't learn how to maneuver, December runs into January, January runs into February, February funks around with March, March says hello to April, May, June, and then the summertime when everybody, talking about their summertime fine line to themselves, you still, with a turtleneck sweater on, and shades, looking like, a big bottle of depression. So my advice to anybody, no matter what, it's a couple things. The first thing is we all need to talk to somebody. Now, whether that's seeking professional help or just having a person that you can stand totally naked in front of. And I'm not talking about sending a naked selfie. That's not what I'm saying. Don't grab your phone right now and just get naked and send it to a person that you feel most comfortable with, right? That's not what I'm saying. But you got to have somebody in your corner that knows you to the point, like whatever you're going to tell them, it's not going to move them. You got to have somebody in your corner. You got to have somebody and if you don't have nobody like that, then you need to get somebody like that.
Welcome to the Love Is Podcast with your host, that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and her co-host, the lovable a-hole, that's right, I said lovable, Mr. DK Walker, where they will be discussing love, relationships, family, life, sex, self-help, and what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. Why? Because love is everything, and everything should be loved. Now to today's podcast.
Hello, everyone. It's your girls, that Thorny Chic, Karen KK Rose, alongside my co-host, the lovable asshole, DK Walker. DK, what's poppin'?
Look, man, as much as I have love for you, as much as I love you, right? As much as I'm in love with you, like, plagiarism is a real thing, right? So you got to start biting, my style. You got to start biting my openings. You got to get a style of your own cat daddy. Don't be asking me what's poppin' B when I'm the what's poppin' B king. So to answer your question, ain't nothing poppin' B. It's poppin' with you.
Clearly, you want to go in the corner today because you trying my patience already.
Clearly, your ass is a thief. You've been stealing my shit for the last 40 podcasts. Clearly.
Listen, what is original?
What? There's nothing on the sun that's original, right?
Okay. I just wanted to put that out there.
Right. It's all about the delivery, right? The way, the inflection of the voice, the squeakiness of the decimal. Like that's like, unless you're going through puberty.
The puberty in your voice.
Right. Unless you're going through old ass puberty, you know what I mean? You go get your own swag. Go get your own, go
this
get your own swag. This is how you want to start
2021? This is how we gonna start?
Oh, shit. Like, as of this recording, we're still in 2020, but, when people
say all that, it didn't.
People know I'm gonna keep it a buck, but when y'all hear this, my good people, when y'all hear this, yes, this is how, the lovable asshole is going to usher in the new year. Guarantee, got right hand up. If y'all thought I was like, asshole, right? In 2020, like he spoke his mind. He said some wild, outlandish shit. If y'all thought like, how does she deal with him? If y'all thought like, wow, this dude here is special, man. Hey, I don't need you to co-sign my bullshit. Y'all ain't seen Nathan. Y'all ain't seen Nathaniel yet. Guarantee, promise you that. And to answer your question, yes, this is the way I'm going to usher in the new year. This is the way I'm going to be, high asshole powered throughout the whole year. It's the least I can do for the 10 people that like me for being an authentic asshole.
The 10 people, huh?
It's number 10. Like the rest of you that funk with you, there's 10, and all of them in Ohio too. The 10 people that rock with me, not today. I'm wrong. I'm so wrong.
So they're the anti-30 chick friends, basically.
Right. They're your friends. They be just like, I'm tired of somebody calling Karen on her bullshit. Like, I'm glad somebody's standing up to her, not being bullied. You know what I mean? Y'all be thinking, nah, it don't be me. It be my co-host.
I can't help it that mine is bigger. I can't help that.
I mean, I'm not disputing it, like, and you probably pee straighter too, but I'm not disputing none of that. Bigger and
I'm gonna tell you how I pee straighter. I have the good sense to wipe it off before I pee. So there's nothing. There's nothing blocking the hole.
Okay, cool. Like I don't know what it is, right? Like you get older and you're always in a rush to get to the bathroom. You know what I mean? So
It's the water pills.
like whip it out, and let it spray, clean up later. That's my
Not whip
motto.
it out and let it spray.
Does
Jesus.
that mean whip it out, and let it spray?
Whip it and whip it good. Anywho, I'm done being, the poster child for your antics right now. How was the holiday?
First of all, you like nobody said you was a poster child for my antics, right? You sound like you're getting abused. You need a hug.
No.
Okay, I was just checking. Like if you needed somebody to, give you a cookie and a glass of milk and tell you it's going to be all
And
right.
lactose.
First you
Listen here, Pretty
Jamaican.
Cup. Don't start, Shady Pies. Don't start.
First you Jamaican, now you lactose. Like
What does one have to do with the other?
nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Exactly.
Nothing at all. To answer your question, the holiday was good, man. It was actually Christmas, right? Christmas was just like what you call it. Specifically, Christmas was if you had to paint a holiday for 2020, Christmas was it. It was just uneventful and awkward. Because it was just the immediate household, and then when we got up late, really didn't give that because I'm a stickler for a clean. I guess we're switching roles because I'm giving you a bunch of and you ain't even asked, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. Like that's what you usually do, right? But usually I get up and give the house a great cleaning. I ain't do none of that shit. I was tired to the bone, so I did lightweight cleaning. And then when it got time to actually get dinner underway, we ran into all kind of bullshit. I actually had to leave the house on Christmas Day to go find some meat. All we had was sides. Like, the steak wasn't what we thought it was. So that wasn't. And then we forgot to pull the chicken out. So we usually have 2 meats and sides. I'm like, this shit is crazy. So, but thank God that it dawned on me, came to me like a song I wrote. Shout out to Biggie, right? Like my brother was like, you can put, the frozen meat in the air fry and it come out just, you don't got to throw it. I'm like, stop bullshit. Like, man, I'm telling you some real shit. And it came to me. I'm like, but I didn't know that. And then I'm gonna tell you how crazy it is. Like I usually do my rounds. I text everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah and all that jazz there, right? I didn't do none of that. I ain't call nobody. Somebody hit me. I hit them back. That's about it. It wasn't me being, an asshole, just tired. Like I was physically I wanted to, sleep in, but, my wife cracked the whip. My daughter grabbed the doggone 4-leg chair and like the doggone tame beast that I am with minus the drugs, I got my ass up in the kitchen and got to cooking. But long story longer, my brother had called as soon as I was putting the frozen chicken into the air fryer. And I just started laughing like, Slim, you about to live a long time with your old ass. It's my oldest brother, right? I'm the baby of the bunch. I got, 2 older siblings. And he asked me why didn't I relate him to the story about like, ask him about, frozen meat in the air fryer because I didn't know. I thought everything had to be thawed. So that was it, and it actually came out better, than my usual. Like, dinner was late, but it was still good. It just, was kind of odd, but, like 2020, I'm happy to get the last holiday behind us. So how was yours? And please don't be long-winded as me. I think I pulled the current without telling you.
The holiday was good. I actually had to work Christmas. So, Christmas Eve, I was off, I was off like 4 or 5 days prior to Christmas, which was outrageous in itself because, I'm never not at the ER. So to have a couple days off, I really enjoyed that. What I didn't expect was that Babe was going to be here every day and every night, outside of his work schedule. So, it was really us getting the house ready. And then like Christmas Eve, we were wrapping, he had gone to bed. So I thought the next thing I knew, he was standing next to me. And I'm like, you're a little stealthier than I give you credit for. But we had gone and got Christmas shopping, and then Christmas Eve we were wrapping gifts, and then like I said, Christmas we both had to work. So but he threw down and helped my mom throw down in the kitchen and all this kind of thing. So it's just for me right now, it's getting adjusted to my new normal. I'm so used to doing everything myself that when you have a partner that will
It's
pitch
the man
in,
in you. It's the man.
yeah,
in you.
yeah. It's not, and it's the man in me not feeling my manhood feeling challenged is really what it is. Because
Right.
when we went Christmas shopping, I remember like I walked, he is one of those PDA people, so he likes to hold hands and things like that, and I'm fine with that.
Ain't he cute?
He is, but I'm so not used to it that I have to like constantly like, okay, take a moment, get yourself together. Hold his hand, suck it up, buttercup. It's not that I don't like it, it's just adjusting. So You know,
Such a man. What is wrong? You got a man that's like, is that like certain
listen,
females going to hear what you said, right?
yeah,
And they can be like, she something wrong with her. I'm of course I'm poking and I'm having fun,
right.
right? Right. But some females just like they would actually kill for the man to give them some type of affection besides open your mouth.
Exactly. And you listen, I'm not unaware of that. So, ladies, if you're like me, you know, and you're highly, you know, went from highly independent to a new relationship, listen, it's tough. It's a tough adjustment.
But is that okay?
But you have to allow yourself. Hush your face. Hush your
But,
face.
isn't that what you wanted, right? So in
Absolutely.
wanting,
Absolutely.
right? So I got you. I don't mean to step. I just want to because you speedball. I tell you, you got to leave next time. Add water to your instant coffee. Just don't eat the coffee grounds. But look, so
I
because
snort them. I snort them. I don't eat them. I snort them.
no, that makes sense now. Anyway, but since you wanted a relationship, you would think mentally you've been preparing yourself like to ease up on the dominance in you. And it has nothing to do that you stand up to pee. It's the simple fact that, like you said earlier, that, you know, you've been doing things your way and on your own for so long. But once you knew, because there was a slight, you know, rekindling in courtship of, you know, I mean, your folks, right?
Yeah.
And once that came back into play, and then when it became a very strong possibility, I would think, and I could be wrong because I've been hitched at the hip, 13 years a slave, 12 years a slave, 13 years in bondage for a minute now. So the dating and courtship thing is whew, long ago, baby. But so you would think because you was positioning yourself to be in relationship, the things that you know what I mean, wasn't used to doing, you would lower your defense and guard in preparation for that. So why didn't that occur?
I think you could mentally prepare yourself for, you know, a game, situation, business, and things like that. And then when you actually are in the game, there are certain variables that happen. We all have trigger points. We all have defenses, you know, and things like that. So yes, I was positioning myself to be in a relationship, but I don't really mentally think that I thought that what I was getting, I was going to all get. If that makes sense. And
It makes sense.
and so what I get with him, what I have with him, I think was really more than what I thought I was going to get. And some of it has to do with the old version of him, the old version of me, working towards a new normal, incorporating our new life together. But I know his past, you know, as far as like his family stuff, and like his mom's side and my dad's side are kind of very similar. They're very hard people. They're not very emotional people. So I didn't think that he would be this affectionate. I figured he'd be like standard affectionate, if that makes sense.
What the hell is standard?
Like, you know, the guys that want to kiss, like, I felt like we'd be like the old couple, like, kiss here and there, you know, but it's not that. It's definitely not. And I'm not complaining in any way, shape, or form, but I think I kind of had a preset of what was going to happen. I figured we would just kind of float into this comfortability that would just be kind of and instead, you know, it's good. I'm happy. I did post him on Instagram, so you know, it's official.
Wow.
I haven't changed my relationship status. And he said we weren't gonna do that cornball shit. But Christmas, I was getting ready for work, and he had gone outside. My sisters and I were all parked in the driveway, and he went outside and cleaned everybody's car. Because I was like, "Oh, babe, I turned my car on. Can you go turn it off? Because I don't have an automatic starter." And I was like, "What is taking him so long?" And then I looked out the window, and he was outside cleaning everybody's car. So I took a video of that, and I posted it on Instagram.
God,
I did, and I penned this really sweet note. I thought you'd be really proud.
Okay, what was it?
It was called "To Those Who Wait for Love," like to wait. Don't settle. Don't lower your standards. You know, keep projecting what you want. Keep manifesting what you want. Honestly, between you and I and the listeners, you know, we were redoing our Instagram page, and I was going through like the things that I had posted. And honestly, for a year, what I had with him, I was manifesting through our post on Instagram, and I didn't realize it until I was like going back and like rereading them as I was deleting them. And I was like, oh wow, like I really was, you know, putting myself in the position to be searched and found for. And, you know, and I'm just thankful for what I have. I really, really am.
That's a good look.
Yes, I still stand up to pee. Let's not get it twisted, but I don't find myself like fighting the certain things anymore. Like,
right. I gotta talk to your dude too, like real life. Like he's because the bar, because like not only did he clean off your car, right? He cleaned off other family members' cars. So the bar that he's setting for being that guy is really high. So, you know, like I'm gonna talk to a man to man, like,
no.
hey, I'm gonna talk to him like, okay, we'll ease back a little bit. Don't give him too much, right? Like,
But again, you gotta remember my sisters know him. So I mean,
it don't make a difference. Like they monkey asses, like, and that's right. Tell your sisters, like I said, they monkey asses. They monkey, and then when they listen to the podcast, they're like, "How dare he? How dare I not?" They monkey ass could have went out and cleaned up. But I understand, it was the right thing to do. I'm just being a butt, you know what I mean? But the bar's still high as hell because once you now which is a good thing to do. But I guess my question is not so for, and then again, I don't need to talk to him, right? So it's not so much for him, lowering his bar. Are you willing to meet him at the bar? Because listening to all he does, on air and off, like he's all in. Like he ain't faking from, like he's all in.
No,
And we
he
know
definitely ain't faking. No, he definitely ain't
right.
faking.
So knowing you know what I mean, you have your reservations because of past whatever. Are you ready to go all in? Like just, and without looking back? Because I think what happens is like we look back and what happened in the past, or we look back on coulda, woulda, shoulda, and then we don't give the present our all. So
no, I'm definitely all in. We're having those tough conversations. We do like 2 relationship questions a day. If I feel a certain way about something, he's the first person I tell. Like Saturday, he saw me kind of like, let go of his hand and kind of like walk away and kind of take a moment. And he's like, what's wrong? And I was like, nothing's wrong. I said, it's not. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just me. Like he had gone Christmas shopping with my mom and I, and he carried all the bags. And, I was kind of like internally waiting for that, or, him wanting to go sit down and not be bothered. And he was just thoroughly enjoying shopping with me and my mom. And, my mom's kind of a tough cookie. I mean, that old bird ain't, she ain't falling for the okie doke, especially when it comes to her kids. And so she could be a lot to handle as well. And, he was just walking with her and showing her stuff and, carrying her bags. And, they really, their relationship and how it's growing is really, really cute too, because the other day they were in the kitchen prior to Christmas making, she's teaching him how to make Jamaican food and how to make Jamaican treats and things like that. And he was in the kitchen with her and they were just chopping and whatever. And of course, my non-cooking ass was in the other room, rapping, drinking.
Man shit.
Listen, it was completely tuned out. I was like, I'm like checking the numbers. I'm doing everything else. So, if I do have any reservations or I feel something or feel some kind of way, I do address it with him and just say, listen, I've not been loved like this. I've not been, in this type of relationship. So some moments are harder for me to navigate because I have to get used to somebody else doing it. And me not so much not having to say, but not dictating how it goes. And he's understanding. So he's just like, we'll get through it. You'll be all right. Yeah, and equally too, away. I mean, for my own pat on the back is that to have somebody be in my space all the time. Because the whole time I was off, he was here every day, every night. And then I think these last 2 days have been the first 2 days in like a week and a half that we haven't been together.
That's what's up, man. Well, do yourself a favor, put your penis away.
I gotta tuck it with some duct tape, gorilla tape.
Exactly. Go back to sitting down to pee, and then anyway, and just let nature takes its course.
Yeah, I'm trying. I really am. I really do love him.
Yeah, you'll get there. You know what I mean? Or he gonna drag your monkey ass one? Either or.
Both. He definitely will drag. He definitely will drag. I forgot who said, somebody had said, well, if you break up, he goes, there is no if we break up. He goes, she could be pissed, she could be tired, she could be a lot of things. If she tired of me, go take a nap. You want to break up, go upstairs. Like you want to break up? Okay, go upstairs, break something or find something to break, and you come back. He said, but there's no point in being, this in love and this invested in whatever, and then you get upset about something stupid. He goes, you want to break up? I'll go home and I'll sleep in my bed. You stay in yours. Don't text me. Don't call me. And then in the morning you wake up with a better attitude. That's breakup. Okay.
That's what's up. Breaks. Oh, that's a t-shirt. Breaks over breakups.
I'm telling you. He was like, you go break something. You go find something to go break, but we don't break up.
Well, I am genuinely, emphatically happy for you, and the mister. So that's a good look. Yeah, just, I'm always giving you that advice, get out your own way and just and just let what is going to be take its course. Sometimes, we get so wrapped and trapped in, and then sometimes you just got to be, you can't enjoy the moment unless you're in the moment. And what happens, we get to that voice in our head. The voice in your head is always outside of the moment. Like you're thinking about situations that never 9 times out of 10 rarely come to light. Let's keep it a buck, right? You're always, you know, in our head, and we're giving this energy to situations that I promise you rarely come to light. But what happens is you keep giving it energy, and then what happens is you give it energy, then you create and manifest that situation. Just to have that aha, I told you, I knew it was gonna go, and it was lovey-dovey, because since you're not, and I'm not speaking about you specifically, I'm just talking about people that always takes their problems, their issues, and their baggage that's in their head, and that things are going fine, right? And what happens is, like, you know, things are going too fine. I got to do something to make me feel comfortable in being uncomfortable. I need a mess so I can feel comfortable in the mess. And my thing is, if you want a, you know, drama-free, mess-free life, kick them voices in those insecurities in your head out the door. And just be in the moment. And if love comes pouring in, by all means, go drown in love, right? You know, by all means, take the biggest gulp of love that you can swallow. Don't spit, swallow. Inside joke, right? On love, right? You know, and even if hurt comes through the door, even if pain comes, you don't know what's coming to the door if you're, you know, in anticipation. No, whatever comes to the door, like, welcome it. And then whatever comes through, just deal with it. You know, I know it's early in the podcast, and, you know, I'm a little heavy early in the podcast, but I didn't want to miss that moment, because somebody right about now is actually fighting that good fight, not wanting to let go. And my advice to them, whether it be man, woman, like, please just let go. Like, I release, and I promise you it'll be all right.
Facts. And it's funny that you say that, because when I first told my sister, the sister right behind me, because we all know I have 4 sisters, she said, she was like, listen, I'm very happy for you. I'm happy that you're giving love a chance. But she said, please live outside of your head. She's like, do not, like, relish in your thoughts. Like, don't get so wrapped up in it. And when she was the first person that said it, but then when it became kind of like everybody's thing to me, I was like, okay. So I really do work on myself, like my self-talk. Like,
yeah,
we always do those, like, what if scenarios, and I have to, like, before I go down the rabbit hole, I just stop myself, like, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna project. We're not gonna manifest. We're not gonna put any of that shit that's negative in front of this. Like, we just gonna rock today. And if I feel some kind of way about something, then I just address what I feel, like what I feel, quote unquote, uncomfortable about, and then we keep it pushing.
Facts. And the reason that me and other people that's in your corner, that's in your circle,
y'all know
you
me.
to. Right. Not only that, the reason that we really want you to live outside your head, because the size of your head, for you to go, you can get lost.
Say,
like, you fuck around. Yeah, you get lost in that massive thing. So we need you to stay from out of there, right? Because we love you, right? There's no rescue or search team that can find you inside of there, okay?
Just call me the Mad Hatter. Listen, I'm moving on to my favorite part of the show, because we all know I need a little ratchetness in my life, because, you know, the lovey-dovey stuff is cool, but, you know, a little ratchet saves everyone. It's the what the fuck news. So since we're still, you know, in the holiday bliss and theme and love, this is a very interesting story, and it's very ratchet, but I like it. All right. So my boyfriend and I broke up a few weeks before my company's holiday party. Even though we were no longer together, I agreed to sleep at his place while he was away to take care of his dog. I went to a party and started flirting shamelessly with the smoking hot bartender at the venue. After the party, I accompanied him to another bar and invited him to come home with me. Unbeknownst to the sexy bartender, I took him back to my ex's apartment, and we had luxurious amounts of sex in my ex's bed. Checkmate. And that's my what the fuck news.
The story ends there?
Oh yeah. She said checkmate.
Okay, I'm okay. All right. So I'm kind of slow. I'm not. What's the? Okay, I don't know if you play chess, right? I don't know if you play or you understand chess.
No, Bobby Fischer, that's you. I don't play.
Okay, cool. So, but you know, chess is like the game of life. So not necessarily the actual game, but we'll talk about that later. By my book, right? So look, how can you have a checkmate without check? And why did she want to get back at her ex? Because he broke up with her, or what the?
I don't know what the breakup was about, and I find it interesting that, you know, she agreed to take care of the dog while he away.
I'm not knocking her hustle, right? But see, I got a problem. Before, because usually I go to what the fuck news, and I would have, like, you know, I would not be, I'm rarely serious on what the fuck news, because I'm going to find the raunch in it. I'm gonna find the humor in it, and if it's missing raunch, if it's missing humor, then I'm gonna add my own, and we're gonna kiki and caca for 20 goddamn minutes. And people are like, God damn, can we actually get to the damn podcast? I'm sorry. See, this is why I got a problem with this, because we're always talking about being transparent. We're always talking about having those tough conversations, and for whatever reason that he broke it with her, you got to commend him. Right? Whether she agreed, disagree, I would assume, and just for assumption's sake, that you would be preferred to be broken up with than cheated on. And so since he was mature enough to be like, yo, we can't kick it, in a relationship, you can still be cool if you want. And if see, I got a problem with her, not even for fucking in homeboy's bed, skank asshole. Did that come out loud? I was thinking that.
Right.
Funky ass bitch. I mean, did that part come out? Like, no good for nothing. I mean, I keep thinking I don't mean to be calling this doggone skank ass woman out her name. That's wrong with me, right? But the reason I'm gonna call a skank ass woman for the simple fact that he was mature enough to like, this is not working, but we can still be cool. If she feels as though we can't be cool because I still got feelings, she's supposed to move on. But in turn, she want to come out
She got her back blown out on his bed and probably didn't change the sheets. Hence why she said checkmate.
Okay, that's the obvious, right? I understand. I got the obvious, but my thing is just about the letter that was written in, unless she left out, details, which it sounded like she did, or she was just on some vindictive, don't break up with me, right? Like, I don't understand. Like, if you don't, wow, really?
But I think the men don't get that the female ego is just as fragile as their ego is.
But okay, but it's still not an excuse to go that, like, don't do that. Like, if somebody let me ask you a question, because you just we spent 20 minutes, excuse me, I'm sorry, not we, you spent 20 minutes fawning, FAWNING, over your boyfriend, right? Excuse me, your man.
Oh, I spent 20 minutes?
Yeah. Bear with me.
Oh, okay. We're going to roll the beautiful bean footage back and start where I started actually coming in and talking, which was 17 minutes.
So you was fawning for 17 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool. Not a problem. So, but you was fawning, right? Over, and I'm not mad. Don't. And see, you got to, once again, and I know it's hard. I don't want to, if I'm fawning, that means it seems as though I'm weak. Like, to be in love is to be in love is to be weak. That's a jewel for somebody. Like, y'all got to start cash apping your boy. I'm giving y'all real live shit in this new year. To be in love is to be at your weakest moment, because you got some, I don't mean it's a female thing either. I'm in love, so I'm at my weakest moment because I'm at my most vulnerable. So it's okay to fawn. As soon as you heard that, you got defensive because you think it's something wrong. No. If you in love, by all means, fawn until your tongue fall at your fucking head. The problem I got with old girl, with her hoish ass, doing what she did, is like, if she didn't say he did something and I was on get back, if the only reason is that she did what she did because he broke up, then I got no love, respect, or nothing for what she did. Because he did the respectable, grown, mature, adult thing to do. It's not working. Let's end it.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens, like, I don't understand but you'd been 10 times pissed if it had been like, it's not working. I'm going to drag you along and cheat with your mama and your sister at the same time.
Okay.
I'm just like, okay, and then if that's what you want, but if I'm doing the thing that's going to save you heartache, pain, and all that, and I'm doing the right thing, like, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to have that tough conversation and move on, then let's do that. But don't let me have that, and then you still on some, you don't break up with me, only I can break up. Like, bitch, grow up. That's right. I called her a beautiful, intelligent, tender, caring human being. Okay, I don't really mean that for that acronym. Yeah, bitch, grow up. Like real live, grow up. Like, I'm talking to all you women, like, you about worse than that doggone female that blew up the car, and then, as she tried to, and then she bounced around like a fucking ping pong, and then went to jail with a burnt up face. Like, how stupid, like, she falls into that category. Like, and then most women be thinking like, yeah, and I'm a fool. Like, if he was, I think about the ladies. Look, if your man, excuse me, let me be politically correct. If your significant other is mature enough to be like, you know what, this is not working, no matter how much pain you're in, no matter how much it hurts, respect that decision that they told you that it's not working, and they didn't cheat and show you that it wasn't working.
But everybody's not that adult. Just like you said, everybody's just not that adult about the situation. And I feel like, again, it's the female ego. The female ego is just as fragile as the male's ego. And a lot of women, when they get broken up with and they don't do the breaking up, and sometimes even both, they on get back. So get back mode.
So what it sounds to me, because I'm famous. I know you like to refer to your significant other as Chef Bay, right? I know it's not a problem, but I'm a mean motherfucker in the kitchen, right? But not necessarily the kitchen in your house. I'm the kitchen of life. And so since I'm a mean motherfucker in the kitchen of life, let's go ahead and slowly, with tears in our eyes, peel back this onion. Because to the untrained ear, it sounds like to me that you did some breakup shit in your past. That's why you're going, hush your face. I am not finished peeling this onion. Slow your roll, buttercup. It sounds like to me that you, KK, yes, you. I called you by your nickname, so you know I must be
right on that shit.
Right. So it sounds like to me somewhere in your doggone past that you too have done some get back because a person broke up with your yellow ass type shit. You want to speak about that, or you want to deny the obvious?
Nah. Listen, I'm currently residing as the bald-headed, the president of the bald-headed hoe shit in a relationship. I have broken glasses. I have pulled up. I have, I knew where ex particularly hung out, so I made sure to take, somebody who like the quote unquote upgrade with me, so he would see us together. I've broken glasses. I've thrown phones across the room. I've thrown shit out. Like packed it all up, threw it out. I've had, my brothers pull up. Yeah.
And see, listeners, there was a reason and y'all always lambasting me, thinking like, wow, this guy's a total asshole. It's all right. Somebody has to be like, even Batman, has to play the role of the villain sometimes so the city can be saved. And so I wanted to save our listeners that was trying to maybe teeter-totter the line of, being pro-Karen, right? That you had to read between the lines and realize that Karen too hasn't done that vindictive and breakup shit.
Oh yeah.
And that
wait. Oh, sent certain songs like what was that one? Khalees, I hate you so much right now. Yeah. The listeners should know that honestly, at the end of the day, the real asshole really is me.
Terrible, people. Terrible. And y'all want to label me the bad guy. It's all right. We all can't be good. Somebody has to be, somebody has to be him. I'll be him.
All right, Billie Eilish. All right. So listen, we've talked about the holidays and, bald-headed hoe shit during the holidays. But in all seriousness, the holidays are tough. And not only going through the holidays, of course, being this whole COVID mess, that of course does not look like it's going anywhere until maybe next year. Well, this year, 2021, till maybe midsummer, if that. I don't know if we'll ever go back to not wearing masks for a whole year. But as hard as the holidays are, post-holiday is just as hard.
Facts.
People have things called seasonal depression. A lot of people are, losing loved ones and things like that. Are you having any post-holiday? Other than my credit card statement. Oh, Jesus. Other than my credit card statement, I can't really say that I'm having post-holiday blues per se.
I used to though, right? Like I think I might have told this story on the podcast, many a podcast ago. Like I really hated the holidays, like with a passion, right? I really hated. I couldn't stand Christmas, I really gave a fuck about Thanksgiving, and then I was like a huge fan of the New Year because in my mind, which is like when the New Year, I can release into that time rolled around again, I can release that pain. And the reason that I wasn't necessarily a fan of the holidays is because like I had lost so many family members and I forget the year. I conveniently forgotten the year, but I lost my old man, right? Lost both my grandmothers, lost 2 aunts and an uncle all within 6 months. Like it was just bad. And then I didn't have closure with any of those, beloved. I didn't have no, because I was off into my own whatever, but that's either here nor there. But I really despised, like I just wouldn't be me, right? So I would be more asshole than lovable. What happened is, anybody that knows me or familiar with my story, like, God blessed me with what I needed and not what I wanted. Cause, I told God I wanted a June. And in case people don't know what a June is, June is another word for son. I wanted a son like no other ones. Like, my wife convinced me, cause I wasn't, big on having kids You know what I mean? Because I know the type of world that we live in, and I know that the challenges that, mankind faces. I don't want to sound morbid, but if you look at our current state of affairs, it would bear me out that, in retrospect, man, you shitting me. But I wanted a son. God was like, nah, I'm going to give you what you need. I'm not going to give you what you want. So he gave me a daughter. And making her holidays the best that they can be by toys, love, cooking, making her laugh, making her mad, just driving her crazy, just having fun, just, whatever. Like it took off the edge. It took off the pain of, me not being able to talk to my father, not talk to either my grandmother, not talk to my aunts and uncle. It took off the pain because God gave me, what I needed and not what I want. But, some people are not that fortunate. Some people are not fortunate enough to have, been gifted a daughter or gifted a son. Some people go through holiday depression and they don't find no, I guess, light at the end of the tunnel. What do you suggest to them? First of all, suggest to them to identify, because people just think they go through, and that's the crazy thing, right? If you watch social media, you're going to start to see, right? You're going to see a funk. Like people have two things you're going to see on social media. I promise you, and I guarantee, just got to pay attention to details. You're going to see all these people with these whack ass. I said it. I promise you, I'm so tired of being politically correct, too old for that bullshit. You're going to see all these whack ass New Year's resolutions. Go bite yourself, right? And then you're going to see other people talk about being in a funk. Like, we're not going to talk about people and they whack ass New Year's resolutions. We're going to talk about people being in the funk, because what they're hinting at is being in some form of depression. So first of all, with you, how would you tell people to identify being in a depression, and what are some of the things they can do to get out of the depression?
I kind of share the same story. December is very, very hard for us and our family. We had multiple, back to back deaths. And for people who don't know me, I chose December 27th to release my first book 2 years ago, in 2018 on December 27th, because that was the day my godmother died. And I was like, every year I would start to from October to the day she died, I would relive it all the time. And I would really put myself in a bad headspace. And so for anybody who is in that, has that kind of thinking, we have a choice to celebrate or to mourn. And the Bible says, for everything there is a season, and you have to eventually make the season end. And so for me, when I finally decided, okay, I can make December 27th the best day of the year. I can celebrate her life like none other. Because at the end of the day, it was a legacy that had set, things we bypass are living between your dashes. And she had done that. She has left me this great legacy. She's left me this great family that still lives. And so it's getting in front of your thinking. You have to change how you look at death. Death is the end and the beginning of something else. It's a turning of the page. She is gone, but she didn't leave me lifeless. She didn't leave me without nuggets. She didn't leave me without guidance. She didn't leave me without love. I have to now take her legacy and somehow incorporate it into my legacy and then leave that for my kids. That's how I honor her. That's how I honor all the ones that have gone before me. That's how you honor their life. You have to turn it into something good, because we are so prone to make it bad.
Fact. So hold that thought for a hot second. So because we share similar stories. So what advice would you give people that don't equate, because they don't equate their holiday depression due to a loved one dying? For some reason, it's just what happens is people go through the opposite of what the majority is going through. I don't know what effect that you call it. I'm pretty sure there's a term. If somebody's going to Google that, Google, leave a message wherever you hear this at, or whatever, right? So what happens is people just get
It's in the show notes.
Right. And all that good shit. Look, so what happens is people equally get depressed because there's so many people that's joyous or supposedly joyous during the holiday season, and it has nothing to do with a passing family member. How do you talk to them? How do you talk to them to get them through, their go through?
Again, you have to create the life you want. You have to manifest the life you want. I think we all could be Scrooge and a little bah humbug. Don't get me wrong. But at some point, and I said this all last year, and I'm going to keep saying it. Comparison is a thief of joy. There is still, you have to, within yourself, designate to your mind, to your self-talk, to your mantras, to your affirmations that I am enough. If I'm by myself, if I am single, I'm enough. If I'm in a relationship, I'm enough. If I'm married, I'm still enough. And if I go back to being single, I'm still enough. There's an evolution of self that you have to self-love yourself enough to get through every mode of life, because every mode of life is not going to find you in a perfect situation. This is something I said to Bay the other day. I said, life is allowed to be good. You're allowed to have good moments, because if you learn how to live in the good moments, you can push through the bad moments.
Okay. About right.
Pass the plate. Pass the plate.
Yeah. So I definitely get that, but I really want to, because this is a real thing. Like, because, unbeknownst to our listeners, my co-host has really been trying to bring this topic to the podcast for a minute. And then when she proposed it, when we were planning, because we don't go to deep planning. We just give topic and then we go, right? But I know this was like weighing heavily on her to actually bring this to the forefront, because it's a real thing, right? Because we both know our personal stories of, loved ones, right? We both know about like how debilitating it can be to actually go through that funk. And it's a really draining thing. It's really a thing that can really, if you're not careful, have a death grip on you for the whole year, right? It'll bleed over, and people don't understand that, right? Habits are things. So if you habitually start to feel bad during a certain time of year for whatever reason, and if you don't learn how to shake that, if you don't learn how to maneuver, December runs into January runs into February funks around with March says hello to April, May, June, and then the summertime when everybody, talking about their summertime fine line to themselves, you still, with a turtleneck sweater on, and shades, looking like, a big bottle of depression. So my advice to anybody, no matter what, it's a couple of things. The first thing is we all need to talk to somebody. Now, whether that's seeking professional help or just having a person that you can stand totally naked in front of. And I'm not talking about sending a naked selfie. That's not what I'm saying. Don't grab your phone right now and just get naked and send it to a person that you feel most comfortable with, right? That's not what I'm saying. But you got to have somebody in your corner that knows you to the point, like whatever you're going to tell them, it's not going to move them. You got to have somebody in your corner. You got to have somebody and if you don't have nobody like that, then you need to get somebody like that. Because because I'm always on my daughter for that, saying that cuss stuff, because we all need someone to talk to. We do. Now, if you don't have somebody that you can call a friend, that you can be that transparent with, it would behoove you to seek, professional help. And then within the Black community, right? I think the shift has changed or starting to change. And shout out to Charlamagne the God. Charlamagne the God, did a great job of shedding, light, on that Black people needed therapists. Like, Black people need therapy, right? Like, y'all need to go check out. He got 2 books. Don't ask me to name them. Don't know. Now, his first book was not so much about that, but his second book really talked about, and if you can actually Google that or look that up while I'm talking, I would greatly appreciate her. Like, his second book really talked about the need for Black people as a whole, because just living in America, right? I don't make this a race thing, right? But just being Black, living in America takes a toll on us, right? So with that being said, but it's a stigma where as a Black person rather be tough and tough it out and not fully address going through they go through. They're not addressing their issues at hand. They'll mask them. They'll sweep them underneath a rug. And then like clockwork, come the holiday season, they right back there. And sometimes when it comes back, it's even worse. So you really got to do yourself a huge favor. I'm not going to be really deep and long-winded, which of course I'm always am. So I just lied to you. Please forgive me about this subject, but you really got to find somebody to talk to, because these things will stay internal as long as you do not externally release them by speaking about them, and then speak about them to people that's not going to pass judgment, right? I don't care your worst of the worst. You don't need to be the only, and that's going to sound crazy to somebody, right? You do not need to be the only one that knows the worst of the worst about yourself. You don't. If you do, you will never heal. I'm not a therapist. I'm a common sense type dude. Common sense 101, right? I graduate that. I dropped out of high school, but I did graduate common sense 101. If you're the only person knowing the worst thing that you've done, you will always have a pain that will grow inside you like a cancer. I promise you that.
All right. The book you were looking for by Charlemagne the God is called Shook One, Anxiety Playing Tricks on Me.
Right. I got both of those on Audible. And I've listened to the first one a couple of times. I listened to the first one, the second one, pardon me, at least 2 times. Both of them are great books, but definitely, he talks about it's okay to seek help. And it is. Like, I promise you, it's okay. We have to stop, thinking that only weak people need therapy or people that's crazy. Like, come on, man. I think me personally, I think everybody's crazy. Whatever that definition means to you, I think we all touch in some type of way. There's not a person alive. You can't cope. Now, I promise you, you cannot cope without being off by somebody else's standards. You may be on by your standards, but by somebody else. And that's one thing about genius, right? I know I went down another rabbit hole. It's cool. I'm going to come out real quick of this rabbit hole. But one thing about being, because I think we all are blessed, and this is somebody's quote, right? This is not me. Somebody said it. It'll come to me. But somebody said we're all blessed with Michael Jordan greatness, right? And Michael Jordan is like the epitome of a basketball player, although I think it's Kobe Bryant, but long story longer, right? And to be great, to be a genius, you got to be off in a little bit. Like, you got to be seeing things, doing things that nobody else is capable of doing, right? So flipping that coin back over, we all are off. Maybe not to the point where as you is viewed upon as you're phenomenal in these areas. Maybe you're off where things don't click. You just don't get certain things, or you deal with things in a way that's not necessarily healthy for you, right? Those are the areas that you really need to go ahead and address. Okay. And talking about, and I just told you, and I apologize for lying. I just told you I was going to be long winded, but it just came to me like a song I wrote. Shout out to my man Biggie. Look, instead of doing the whole new year, new me bullshit, right? Cause like y'all say that, not even 2 months later, you back doing the shit you said you wasn't going to do. Do yourself a better favor than that. Do yourself the favor of addressing those dark, hidden areas. That should be the only thing. Let's keep it a buck, right? That should be the only thing on your list of what I'm going to do for the new year, right? Like, and then my advice is don't wait to the new year, right? Don't, like, as soon as you hear this, as soon as you feel yourself a certain type of way, you need to go get help. And I know there's a lot going on. Think about it. Not only are we dealing with the holiday blues, we're also dealing with the blues of COVID. Like, this has mentally, I don't mean to be graphic and somebody going to say ill, but COVID and everything that's came with it has mentally butt fucked us with no lube on. Yes, that's crass, but that's the way that people mentally, like, we fuck raw. We hurt. Like, you need to go get, go put a condom on your feelings or something.
I was trying to hold on to it, but I definitely agree with what you're saying. I think so many times that we want to give the appearance of wholeness, that we don't celebrate our brokenness. And one of my favorite kind of cliches, that broken crayons still color. And I had to say this to somebody. I said, if you see my grandson is notorious for breaking crayons. That's his affinity for a new box. I don't think he feels like it's right if they're not all broken. I don't know if it's just his motor skills. Like, he just likes holding them in half. I don't know. But somebody was like, oh, this, that, and the third. And I was like, listen, Landon breaks all his crayons, but he still colors every day. His mother's walls attest to his Picasso-ness. Like in Magic Eraser, and Time Out, help him adjust. But we want to be we have really, really, and I can't even blame COVID, but we, since social media has really popped off, have bought into it has to look perfect. And the thing is, if you really, really sit down and follow certain people, you will see that really they're not selling you their wholeness. They're selling you their brokenness. They're like, listen, I didn't become who I am because my marriage was great. My relationships were great. I was great. I had to get here. I had to take my selfishness and work on that. I had to take my past hurts and work on that. And the people that you really do admire, if you really, really think of them, you really aren't following them because you really like them or because they put pretty pictures up. You follow them because there's a part of you that attaches to them. And if you could learn to put that same affinity and that same admiration for their brokenness into your brokenness, how much better off would you be?
Right. I think earlier you said, okay, I don't want to misquote you, but and maybe I heard you wrong, or maybe you misstated. Now, I'm not the right. I'm not that guy, but I think what happens is people, and what you're saying is right. I think you might have worded it wrong, and this is what I mean. I think people attach themselves to people that believe that that's perfect. and they're only getting a part of their lives. So there's two type of people, right? And I want to make sure I want to be uber clear about this because we do live in a social media driven generation. Like we're the old heads, such as myself, are trying to keep up with the millennials and the whole nine. And so what happens is everybody's like, whether you can't, it's like social media is the stamp of approval, which is fucking crazy because social media is not real life, right? So there's two type of people that's on social media: people that's fake appearing to win, and people that's winning because they don't mind being real, right? But the popularity goes with the people that's fake winning. And what happens for the majority of people, they attach their wagon to the people that's fake winning, not knowing, not realizing that the people that's fake winning, their shit is just as fucked up, if not worse than your shit.
Facts.
You bigging this person up. You want to be this person. You want to, and you not understanding that you don't even have a clue. If you actually could see this person in real life, if you could, like, see their, apartment, you can see what they had to do to get what they have. If you could just walk, you'd be like, oh, my life is not that bad after all. And what happens, people start to, you said this earlier in the podcast, thief is the greatest,
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate you cleaning that up for me. Comparison is the greatest thief of joy. And the thing is, you're comparing your life to somebody's, it's not even a winning moment. It's a facade of a winning moment. And what happens, you get more depressed. You get more broken because you're thinking like, why can't I be like them? And you're asking to be worse off than what you are, if you think about it, because you're wants to be a partial glimpse of somebody else's life that's not even real. But in your mind, and your refusal to address your issues, you want to be something that's not even real. It's just a 30-second video. It's just a 5-second picture that you scroll down. It's just a cute meme. It's just somebody out eating what food. It's just like, look at it for what it is and stop thinking like it's just some guy holding a money stack up to his ear. Okay, that money stack can have 100 on top, 100 on the bottom, and a bunch of ones in between. But in your eyes, you think that it's all hundreds, right? You see some doggone female, like ass out to badal, stomach waist like wasp size, right? Titties out to like wow, right? You don't realize like, okay, she had 20 ribs removed. And of course, I'm being facetious. It's not 20 ribs in the body, right? You don't realize what she had to go through, the pain, of to get there. And like, it may have been unhealthy pain, but you're like, I want to look like that. Really? But do you want to go through what they went through to look like that? Right? And look, like I said earlier, and I'm going to beat a dead horse because we all need this motherfucking glue, right? Do yourself the hugest of favors. Do yourself your biggest favor is go address that past hurt. Like get in touch. Don't be scared. Because what happens is like, we don't never want to be uncomfortable if we choose to be. And that's the difference between losers and winners. And it has nothing to do with finances. It has nothing to do with being an entrepreneur. I'm talking about life right now, right? The winners at life know that there's parts of me that's broken. There's parts of me that hurt. And I can never get that out of my life until I go have a conversation with myself. I can never move forward until I go ahead and address the weight of the past that's dragging me down. I can't do these things, right? And that's the difference from the people that's winning on the internet, but they followers is not up. That's the difference between the people that's winning, via social media, and they don't got, all these people hanging on their words. But when you see them in real life, and then you see them in real life, and then you happen to look at them on social media, it's like, it's no change. Like you see some of the people that you look up to in real life on social media, like, who the fuck are you? They will be strangers, but you could identify them, out of a crowded room any day because you go past, being a fan, you go to stalk mode. Like, so you didn't stalk them so much, you know exactly what they look like. And when you see them, you're disappointed because what happens without the filters, without the lie that they've been perpetuating, their life is not what you've known it to be. But you see that other person with not that many, and then you see, and they happy. They got the kids running around, they laughing, everybody crazy, everybody having a good time. Like the same shit I see on what you comment, I still see. Really? And that's the aim and that's the goal, is to be you at all times. But don't put your doggone hopes, depressions, don't put the darkness of you, don't lay your transformation or getting better on somebody else that's just as broken as you are.
But you make a good point, is that we have to start putting value back on the things that God has given us. you get one shot at your life. And if you are constantly using somebody else's measuring stick for what is yours, you're going to miss the mark every time. Because
Facts.
what DK is supposed to go through is not necessarily for KK to go through. Is there a part of our lives that obviously we're in partnership because we have a business together and that I'm going to go through certain things? Yes, but it's not the same. Like, it's your lesson. I just happen to come along for the ride.
Facts. It's not things that, I'm sorry, please.
No. So I get to enjoy certain parts of your life, but it's not the whole summation. It's not the whole lesson. The lesson, that's not my lesson.
Facts.
If that makes sense. So we're wasting so much time giving value to something that's not valuable. Like, what is mine is mine. And that's the value of me. That's the value of my life. That's the value that I get out of a situation. And as long as we are forever using somebody else's measuring stick, we're going to come up short. And the other thing is that some of us need a social media detox.
You right, what you said right there. Okay, right. We're not gonna blame the whole holiday depression thing on a social media detox, but being as though we, podcast, being as though we live in a social media society, like what you said right there, like on the cool, we can go ahead and cut this shit off, like this, and end it. Like, some people need to, because what happens is we're subscribed to, it's not real. So you just need to unsubscribe because this shit is not real.
Facts.
It's not. And we're not hating. Like, somebody will hear this and think, oh, they hating, right? And then let me keep it a buck. You're going to see certain, and it's not the majority. You will see somebody that's actually great cars, beautiful family, everybody with, whatever, like, mansion, like eating out every night, like jet setting around the world. True, you do have people that's really living those lifestyles, but the caveat to that is it's more people that's pretending to be. And people follow the ones that's faking, right? So find out who's really okay. If let me go ahead and be just brutally honest. If certain people on social media is going to be your God, make sure that they're authentic. Now, I know you should put nobody before God. Cool, not a problem. But let's be, because some people are going to be like, because they're going to hang on this influences every word. They're going to hang on whatever this influences tell them to do. So make whoever is influencing you, make sure that they are doing exactly that. They're living the life that they're telling you that they're capable of doing. Like, if you think that they can fix your problems, if you think that if you can, like, please, by all means, make sure that the shit they telling you, that the shit that they doing. Don't make somebody your God that's don't make somebody your God that has a devilish life. Like, let's keep it a buck, right? What happens is we start to idolize, start to worship, we start to put these people before, and then in the process, you losing the most beautiful thing that God, the real God, gave, which is you. You're losing yourself in the process of trying to be somebody else. And what happens year after year, no matter, of course, it's the holiday season we're talking about, right? But year after year, the darkness in you grows bigger and bigger. And then you'll look back on your life and you'll just be that. You'll just be a gloomy motherfucker. Like, you be flat out just depressing, gloomy type person. But I'm here to tell you, get help. Talk to somebody. Just like my co-host said, shut social media the fuck off and get and live real life. I'm like, talk to your spouse, play with your kids. Matter of fact, as much as we tell our kids to put down the phones, do yourself a favor and be fair to your kids. If you're asking your kids to put away their phones, you put away your phone too, unless you run your business off your phone. And even then, you should have set hours. And even if you're in grind mode, come up mode, and I've said this on previous podcasts, whereas my family got to sometimes takes a back seat. But when I'm in the moment with my family, like Christmas, I spoke to my co-host and we did our holiday wishes before. I didn't say nothing to her, and then she's near and dear to my heart, just like my family. I didn't say nothing to her during Christmas. Like, people called me and I answered the phone once I seen who number it was, and I had a quick whatever. That was it. My mother, my brother, my little brother. Everybody else, I didn't have no type of conversation. I had no interaction, and it wasn't me being but the time that I made my family my center point, my centerpiece part of me, that's what I did. Like that we're good. I promise you, my phone stayed on 100 yesterday.
But again, it's going back to normalizing the fact that it's okay if I don't feel like talking. It's okay if I don't post every day on social media. It's okay if I'm not uber present in the way that you want me to. Now, if I have not gone, if we've gone a week and not talked, then you might want to send, an SOS. If I haven't posted in a week and, maybe send an SOS, but we got to normalize how people are functioning, how people are, dealing with COVID and the holidays and their own losses and their own wins. Like, we all got kids. We all trying to, manage our lives, and everything isn't social media worthy.
Facts.
Sometimes I gotta just take a loss and just deal with it. Sometimes I gotta take a win and just rock with it. Like, my goal to myself is definitely to keep my relationship off social media. Not it's a private thing, and blah blah blah. Because people always like, oh, they like to keep it private, so if they break up, that's not a real thing for us. It's not if we break up. I'm keeping my relationship private, not secret.
That sounds like a title of a book.
I'm keeping my relationship private, not secret.
Shh. I don't know if where a pen is at in your life, but grab a pen and write that down. We're going to revisit that later. That's actually a book. Now, I did somebody a favor. I just told somebody that's actually a title of a book. Right. See if you can beat us to the punch. That'll be coming out soon. I don't know when. That'll be coming out soon. I promise you that. You write that down. Like, y'all got to think of bullshit, right? I promise you, mark my words. Like, it may not be a full-length book. That, like, what you said was just that deep. I know I was being a dick earlier, but what you really said, and people they don't know that. Okay. People don't know that distinction. They don't understand. And it's not even keeping that. You need to do that even if you're not on social media. Like, you can't be talking to your girlfriends. And I know we didn't go down another goddamn rabbit hole. You can't be talking to your girlfriends about every problem in your household. And then she's single and horny.
And it's more than that. We have a tendency to overshare. No, we have a tendency to overshare. Like, for me personally, like, one of the hardest lessons I had learned was I can't even tell my own parents everything, because guess what? Me and Bae will beef over something stupid. And then, a week or two later, we over it. But my parents, or the people that you love, they will still hold Bae to this incident that happened 2 weeks that it really ain't got nothing to do with them. But because I decided to say, hey, this bothers me, or they upset me, they hurt me, rah, 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 then, especially mothers have a tendency to keep like a tally sheet. Like, oh, no, you hurt my baby. We got
facts. Yeah. It's crazy that, and I know we went down a different, we're going to swing it back and put a bow on this, right? But it's crazy that you said that, because that's one of the difficulties. And, and I'm so happy that my wife really does not listen to the podcast. The only time that she listens to the podcast, when I play the podcast, when I'm in the car, right, with her. And then she be looking at me like, do I really? And I'm like, yeah, you could walk, but I digress. So look, me and my wife had that problem. Like, cause she's a mama's girl. Like, hearing her mother gossip, like, they gossip Kiki and Kaka because they have that strong bond. It's a great bond to have. But she would just, anytime me and her was going through our go-through, she'd go talk to her mom about it, right? And so what had happened was, now her mother would be looking at me side-eyed. I'm like, I ain't done nothing to you, Miss Lady. Why you mean to me? And so I had to go out of my way to actually develop a relationship that had nothing to do with Nikki, with her lom. So the next time my wife went left, she was like, no. Okay, I know him now. I know you, but I know him now. And knowing you, I know that you had something to do with. So what happens, like, you got to go out your way when people do that. So, like, you need to be really selective, who you share what with, because if you don't go back and clean up after y'all then made up, then the parties that you told that information to are still going to look at your significant other like they some shit.
Yeah. The relationships are touchy. Relationships are, your relationship is what you make it to be. That's all. That's really all I can end all to be it. You have to be very protective, but you can't protect it so much like it's a baby bird that can't fly.
Facts. So, tying this back on to the topic at hand, because we're just not a relationship podcast. We just threw that in there. Segue. We've been, on it, and we're going to stay on it. And what we want y'all to really realize that, with all the fun times, the festive, holiday spirit, there's also depression, that comes. It's a serious thing, it's definitely, and like I said earlier, it's even now more so, because we're, dealing with COVID and all the stipulations and the limitations of COVID. So, I'm not even going to do, cause I think I've done enough ranting, pardon me, that I'm not even going to do, Daily Love Jones, right? I'm going to let, after I finish talking, I'm going to let my co-host, get us out of here. But, I'm going to do something quick and short. Just do yourself a favor. I said this earlier. I'll say it again. I'm going to be brief. I'm not going to lie to you this time. I promise. Do yourself a favor, right? Like, there's dark parts of you. There's embarrassing parts of you. There's parts of you that, that's going to eventually take over your life if you don't address those parts, for whatever reason. So if you don't have somebody in your circle that you can talk to, there's no shame in actually getting, professional help. Do yourself that favor. If you're going to make any promises to yourself for the new year, right? Promise yourself that.
It's your girls, that Thorny Chick, Karen KK Rose. This is the Love Is podcast. Listen, do not, like my co-host said, we cannot stress this enough. Do not find it weakness to reach out for somebody. That is your strength. Your voice is your strength. I am Thorny Chick, Karen KK Rose, alongside my co-host, the lovable asshole DK Walker. We are helping you fight through the post-holiday blues. DK, tell the people back.
Man, look, go talk to somebody. Man, you talk to them, and if you're going to cry, go ahead and cry. It's all right. Just talk. I just need you to open up, just let it flow, it's all right. Until next time, y'all take it easy. Peace.
We out.
This episode of the Love Is podcast has ended. But please be sure to subscribe for more great content on sex, entrepreneurship, life, love, and how to get through the BS of it all. And don't forget to rate and leave a review so we can continue to bring more of that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and, dare I say, the lovable a-hole, Mr. DK Walker. See you on the next podcast.